Very important topic, function and a graph. Let's see. Fia records the temperature in her kitchen in degrees Celsius over 10 hours. Tx is the temperature x hours after Fia starts recording it for x between 0 and 10 values. Now, when we are reading it, we really have to understand what is that they are telling us. So we get that Fia records the temperature in the kitchen. We get that idea. We know the temperature is measured in Celsius and the period is 10 hours. So the next sentence is saying that Tx, that represent temperature, and then x is the number of hours after Fia starts recording it. And we understand that the number of hours is between 0 and 10 because she does that from the beginning, 0 time to 10 hours. Okay. The graph below Tx for the first 8 hours shows Tx for the first hours. So this graph below shows the temperature in the kitchen in the first 8 hours. It is in 3 sections labeled P, Q, and R. Use this information in the graph to answer parts A to F. We're going to break that question into 2 different videos. So before we start digging in, we have to understand one thing. So here they are very good. They are saying is X, and this value here, that will be normally our Y. So don't forget one important thing about the function. Is between the 2 axes and is between the x and y. Now, the x and y can be called any letters. Is x and y, that's when we start learning function, that's when we understand that there is the x value and then there is the y value, and therefore the axes are here. So that's what it means here. Y represent temperature and x represent number of hours. Okay, so let's see what do we need to do. Estimate how long it takes for the temperature to reach 20 for the first time. So again, I know we can understand that, but I want you to just pause and think, or rather pause and hold on, pause and identify. That's the word I was looking for. That when they are saying how long it takes, they are looking for time, isn't it? So in our function, it's in question with function, it's usually like that. They either look for the value of x, therefore they give us the value of y, or the other way around. They will give us the value of x and we will be looking for value of y. So here how long it takes, that means they are asking about time, therefore they must have given us the value of y. And yes, they are saying when temperature, which is y, will be 20. And we have to show our work on the graph. So again, what is the value given to me? Y, which is 20. So the temperature, now we don't have 20 in here. So how do we proceed? Well, we can see that each square is 3 units. So each square, if we divide into 3 equal parts, so that's 18, 19, 20. So from 20, we go across to our graph, and then we go, that's not very straight. We go down to read the value of x, of corresponding value of x. So the estimate is, in my opinion, about 2.7. That's where we're going to get that value. Now, the next part is saying for how many hours. So again, this is about values of x. Does the temperature remain constant? So they are saying when y is the same number all the time, isn't it? So again, when we are looking at our graph, that's where we have that. The temperature here in this point doesn't change. So it is from 3 hours to 7 hours. So for how many hours? For 4 hours, isn't it? That's what it is. And then let's jump to part D. So the table below give a function for the temperature in each of the 3 sections. So the section we have seen, P, Q, and R. And we can see that those sections are very different. Like here, it is a curve. Here is a straight line. Here is as well a line. It just goes down. So we have to write the correct letter. So either P, Q, and R. So which section in the appropriate space in the table to show which function corresponds to each section on the graph. Use each letter only once. Okay, so we need to understand what we are looking at and therefore connect with the graph. So that's why it's important, that knowledge between the function and the graph. So don't forget that each one of them can be written as y equal and then y equal here and then y equal minus 6x plus 63. Now, when we have y equal a number, so a little bit of knowledge. When you have y equal a number, that means that the line is horizontal. When you're going to have x equal a number, that means the line will be vertical. So in our graph, when we are looking at it, that's the part that is y is just a number. It's a horizontal line. So our first graph here, that first function, that's the q section. Then we are looking at the next one. What is that? When you have x to the power of 2, or any other letter that represent that variable, that independent variable x, when it is taken to the power of 2, then we have a quadratic equation. So that's what we have. Now, the graph of quadratic equation is a parable. Either it goes up or it goes down. Now, here we don't have a full graph of it. We only have part of it. And that's what we can see, that this is part of that parable here. If I was extended, and then it would have come on the other side like that. So that's my next graph. That's my P. And then this is what? A straight line. When I have x to the power of 1 or no power, then that is a linear equation. That means it's a straight line. Now, a straight line can either go up or it can go down. What makes the line to go up and down is the value of the slope. And the value of the slope, when our function is written in that form, so meaning y on one side of the equation with no numbers, and then the rest of the function on the other side, this number that stands beside x, that's the slope. So in this case, the slope is negative. When the slope is negative, so when the slope is negative number, oh, that should say slope. Oh, it's too big. So slope, the line will be going down. When a slope is expressed as a positive number, that line will go up. So in our case, yes, indeed, you consider that that line goes down. Therefore, it is the negative slope, minus 6. So that's our last part. That is R. Again, that knowledge is very important because it goes with us to the Leaving Cert and that will become big part of your exam. So we really need to understand that.